Okay, system of three equations. First two equations are exactly as before. Third equation is a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to just do the second equation minus 2 times the first. It's clear that that will eliminate x. So we have minus 2y and negative 2 times 3y, which is going to give me negative 8y. And then that's right. Yeah. Okay. Then negative 2 times the negative 4z is 8z added to z plus 9z. And negative 24 and 8 is negative 16. And that is the same as before, so I think I did that right. And then the third equation I add negative 4 times the first. I add 4 times the first, not negative 4. And again, my x's go away because 4 times the first is 8x and negative 8x gives me 0. 4 times 3 is 12, so I got 12y and 4y, which is 16y. And then I've got 16z, negative 2z. And there's something wrong with that, and I can't see it. No, I'm sorry. Arithmetic is just off. And this gives me 32. Okay, 4 times 12 is 18. 18 minus 16 is 32. Okay. So I've got this system. Well, now what happens? Well, if I add 2 times this to this, I eliminate y. So I do the second equation from up here. Plus 2 times the first. And I get 0. Okay? Because 2 times negative 8 is 16, and 16 gives us 0. And then 2 times 9z is 18z. But here we have negative 18z. So I get 0 plus 0. I don't have any y's or z's left. Okay? Over here, I get sorry, I don't get 16. I add twice the first to the second. I get negative 32 and 32. And that gives me 0. Okay? Well, that doesn't mean that there's no solution. But that does mean that any pair of y and z that satisfy this equation is a solution, is a possible solution to the system, okay? Or is a possible solution for y and z, okay? This is true. any YZ pair satisfying this will leads to solution. One solution of this system is y equals 2, z equals 0. Okay? If y equals 2 and z equals 0, then we can plug those values into the first equation and easily get a solution. If y is 2, 3y is 6, z is 0, so that's not going to do anything, so we get 2x plus 6 equals 12. Subtract 6 from both sides, we get 2x equals 3. So 2x equals 6, so that x equals 3. Okay? So x equals 3, if I did that right in my head, let's check that out. If x equals 3, 4x is 12. Negative 2y, if y equals 2 is negative 4. 12 minus 4 is 8. Z is 0, you get 8. Okay? And it'll work out here too. You're going to get negative 24 if x equals 3. 8 if y equals 2. Negative 24 and 8 is negative 16. Okay? So there's one solution. Now we could let y equals 0. Z would be negative 16 over 9. We can't do that in your head. You can't do that quickly, but if you plug in negative 16 over 9 here, and 0 for y, it's not hard to find the value of x that will make this equation true, and the other two would then have to also be true. And that now you can pick any value of z. Okay, pick any z, and you can find a y for that z. Just plug in any number for z, solve for y. Put those two numbers in here and solve for x. The solution will work in the other two equations. So there are infinitely many ways you can choose z. So if you choose any z, you get y. Using negative 8y plus 9z equals 16. Then you plug the y and z into any original equation. Find x. Then your x, y, and z will solve all the equations. And we call z then, we could call z, we're free to choose z. Once we choose z, we get y. And once we have y and z, we get x. And satisfies all the equations. We would call z then the free variable. So I'm going to say what we do here. use z as our free variable. Choose any z, we get y. Take that x and y, take that y and z, plug into any equation, you get x. Satisfies everything. Okay. Now, there's another neat thing we can do. What if I change one number in this equation? Okay? If we do that, I'll just put 3 dots here to indicate we do a couple of steps, and we end up with negative 8y plus 9z equals negative 16. Just as before, we haven't changed the first 2 equations. But when we add 4 times the first equation to the third, we get 0 plus 0 equals, let's say we did 4 times the first and added it to the second. We have 48 and negative 16. Now we're going to get we're going to get a 48 negative 15. We're going to get 33 here instead of 32. Then when we add twice this one to this one, we're going to get 1. Okay? In other words, our second equation is going to be 0 equals 1. And this can't be true. So there's no solution. There's no 3 numbers x, y, and z that make this equation, that make this system true. Any x, y, and z that makes this one true and this one will not make this one true because it doesn't add up to what it needs to. Okay? Now there's a little geometric interpretation here that's actually kind of neat, so I'm going to talk about that separately.